I just remember being on that voyage, and I don't know if you ever had this feeling, but I'm curious to hear about your experience, because I remember every single day from the start of that voyage, even just getting to the Bahamas before we even got on the ship, I just remember the whole time feeling like an imposter. I'm feeling like someone's going to find out I'm not meant to be here. Someone's going to kick me off this program. I'm not rich. I don't go to a high-end university or college like so many of these students. My grandfather didn't invent 3M. I'm not a million. Like for half of the voyage, I think I was in a fear state of like, when are they going to discover I'm not one of them? I don't deserve this opportunity. And like, it was so crazy. And of course the money did come through, but there were times where it didn't. I remember owing your roommate Brittany money, like because I went to get money out in South Africa and like my installment hadn't come through, and them being like all of our friends were so wonderful. And like, don't worry, like I've got you until you get it. And I'm like, what if I never get it? What? Like, I don't know what's going on with this money. There's a chance I may never get it. So tell me about your experience with that.
Okay. So
some real life shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, very similar to your background as well. You know, I don't come from much on the spectrum of being from, you know, the US. You know, now I know how privileged I am as a white straight woman from New England, you know. But growing up, we were very, very much on the impoverished side. I'm the first person ever to go to university or school in my entire family. I paid for everything myself. I did all of the loan paperwork and all of that myself. I worked 5 jobs throughout college to be able to make it work while doing a full course load. Like, I've always been a hustler in that regard, just doing whatever the fuck I need to. But a lot of it actually comes down to kind of that sentiment where Framingham had no idea. They're like, well, it's not going to happen, so sorry. That kind of sentiment, because even, you know, my family, when I was figuring out what to do at 16 years old, was like, you're never going to college, you're not smart enough for that, and we're way too poor, it's never going to happen. And so when people tell me no, I'm like, I'm going to do it. Exactly. So I don't know what that is in me. It's just some little fire that ignites, because I'm like, don't fucking tell me who I can or can't be. I'll decide that. If I fuck it up or I choose not to do it, that's on me, but you don't get to choose that. So that's always just been like something ingrained. So which is
it's a good thing to have. A motherfucking chip. A motherfucking chip.
Yeah.
Tom Brady still got the chip, but enough about him. Enough about him.
But yeah, so I never thought I'd even go to university. So the fact that I was at Framingham was huge, you know, and I originally just applied because I was like, I'm going to have nowhere to live. I need a place to live. So
where do I go when I turn 18? What does one do?
Well, you know, I'd been kicked out at 16, so I'd already been on my own pretty much for a year and a half before I went to college. But
so crazy.
But freshman year there was a study abroad fair, and so I remember going to that, and I had always thought in my head, like, if I ever go anywhere, I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Italy, like eat, pray, love, before eat, pray, love had even come out.
I wish one of my very good friends from high school, that was her same thing. Italy. She was so driven to Italy. She was like, I love Italy. I can't wait to learn the language. I can't wait to go there. I can't wait to study art. And I feel like I was like, why was I lost upon that? Because I've always loved Italy. I love their food. I love their culture. It's my dream country now that when I go, I'm never coming back. And why wasn't it top of my list to study abroad in Italy? I don't know.
Well, now it's all right because we'll postpone Italy until, you know, all this debacle is done.
Amen.
But it is an incredible place. So I've been fortunate enough to go later on, but we can talk about that later. But so, you know, I always thought, if, you know, it was a pipe dream though, like just being at Framingham,
right?
Which, by the way, at the time was the cheapest 4-year state school in the state. So, and each year would increasingly get more expensive. And again, that feeling of how am I going to pay this? How is money going to come in? What am I going to do? But so semester at sea had always been like, I remember I had kept the pamphlet from that study abroad fair and the Italian one too, but I ended up throwing, like, you know, throughout spring cleanings along the way, threw everything out. But semester at sea, I swear to you, Tess, like I would hold on to it, and every time I find it, I'd like sit in a little quiet corner in my bed and I would read it, and I would just cry. I would just cry.
Yes.
Like I couldn't explain, you know, that feeling of how profound it was that I need to do this for whatever reason. You know, I didn't know at the time. I just had that longing. And so when we were going back and forth, I was like, no way. It's hard to get into. It's crazy expensive. Who the fuck am I? Like, it's not going to happen.
Right.
I need 2 classes to finish to get my degree. Why don't I just get
Yep.
them at a community college and be done? You know,
Yep.
blah, 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 blah. And then
Ditto.
over that break is when I was like, fuck that, because that sentiment you were talking about when you were on board, like, I don't deserve this. I'm not part of that. And I, you know, in that time frame in my life, throughout college, but like was a lot of that starting to scratch the surface of figuring out what is my self-worth and who gets to define that. Was nowhere near where I needed to be, but that during that break, I'm sure something happened with my family and pushed me over the edge. Like, fuck this, I'm applying, and if I get denied, then I get denied. But I'm not going to deny myself the chance before, you know, beforehand. So let them decide. So
yeah, right.
You know, so once we got accepted, I'll never forget how loud I fucking screamed. Friends ran from down the hallway, like, what's going on? And I'm just like crying, you know, like you never in my life thought.
Yeah.
And then everybody I remember was so excited for us. That whole senior
week. Absolutely.
Yeah. But then, you know, it was fucking scary to figure out the financial piece. You know, I ended up, because I had been familiar with the process of applying for things and run into a ton of fucking obstacles throughout the 4 years of college, almost having to withdraw sophomore year and not going back because I just didn't have a way to do it. Figure out a way, because I'm scrappy like that. And a big help for me was always my summer job. Like, I lived for free up in the woods in New Hampshire, working at a residential summer camp and just pocketing all the money that I made, which wasn't a lot, but to not be spending anything to survive.
Plus, I feel like you had a good people who were raising you up and helping you realize your potential and who you were. Oh, where are we connected?
Yes, we're connected. We're good now.
Okay. Yeah. But I feel like you had like a good leadership team of people there who believed in you and were trying to show you your worth and help you figure that out.
There was one of she wasn't there at that point anymore, but she's crazy because in recent events we're like not close. But prior, she was the first adult in my life to ever really tell me that I'm worth it and that I need to go to school. And so she just always was like, you owe it to yourself. And so that was always that little boy. And like, and people there, you know, we all came from pretty fucked backgrounds and really lower on the socioeconomic end of things. So we all understood. There was like just this deep understanding, and we could be whoever we were and fuck up and learn and grow and whatever. So I'm forever grateful for that space. And that really helped me get on semester at sea. But it was hard. It was really hard financially. I took out my very first and ever credit card. That's why I still don't have a credit card after that one. So I was like, fuck that. I won't do it.
Did you put most of your spending on a credit card for semester at sea?
No, I had my debit card. So I put, I think, that original deposit on the credit card. I paid that off, and I didn't even really touch it much, because I had saved up from working as much as I could. And then over the summer, I was like a little bit higher up. So I made a little bit chunk. I think I had like $2,000, maybe $3,000.
All right. That's pretty good though. That's an impressive summer.
Right.
For sure.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
For a little 21-year-old, you know.
No, I think with me, it was like, I went back and, you know, I was like serving and waitressing, but because I was always at school and because I was always at school, they wouldn't like, it wasn't a restaurant that you just schedule. Like it was like, like when I got back, they're like, yeah, we already have our 5 waitresses and they work every night. So if you can pick up shifts, you can put your name up in the back. Right. And so that was it. It was like once a week, maybe I'd be like, well, somebody give me your shift. Give me your shift. I'm trying to make some money.
I'll take it.
It's like, that's not, I should have honestly probably got a job somewhere else and been like, I can bank up money this summer. But, you know, I'm just like, whatever. I try to get a shift when I can, huh?
No, but in the end, we did it. You know, we both fucking did it. As terrifying as it was, and hard in those moments, especially because, I mean, to whoever's listening, if you ever run into these people on semester at sea, you know, not to offend you, but I'd say 80% of those kids were fucking douchebags who were super overly privileged and overly ignorant and blind to their privilege, to the point of like, how many people do you feel like were on that cruise? They called it a cruise to and drink their way around the world.
Absolutely.
And that was it. And it's like, you know, we're pulling up to ports of call in South Africa, and like people are going to go to Robben Island, and people are like, let me just go get fucked up and I'm not going to go.
Oh yeah.
Or going to the tunnels and like, How do
Yeah,
you
oh yeah.
prioritize?
We rented the owner. This was one of the kids on our voyage's story. We rented the owner of Billabong's house in Cape Town, South Africa, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
took a shit in his bathroom sink. Do you remember that?
No.
True story.
Who
True
did?
story.
Ugh.
Ooh, are you eating sushi?
Uh-huh.
This motherfucker. Let's get a close up on that. What you got over there, girl?
A little spicy tuna roll.
Where'd you get it from?
This is just a grocery store kind. It's not like a fancy one.
Yeah,
I just
that's
haven't eaten
fucking
anything today,
yum.
so I had like a couple bites before we hopped on, and now.
Oh, I'm
Just
jealous. I'm jealous.
Listen, I have to make a grocery store run count, okay? I go
have to
once
say,
every 2 weeks.
No, girl, you're damn right. So, I mean, I guess that should bring us. So we have so many.
Anyway, no, the one thing, hold on. I want to say one more thing about mustard seed.
Say it.
It's just, regardless of how hard that was, and so many identity things of feeling worthy enough or not, that is one of the most pivotal moments in my life. Oh, I'm gonna cry. It changed forever my trajectory of who I am in the world, and what we can truly do with our voices and with using the resources at our disposal to be there for ourselves and be there for others in a very real way, even on a small micro level. But of course, it inspired me a lot more to go on the macro levels too, which is what inspired my master's degree and blah, blah, blah. But it's just, I'm forever appreciative for us being there together and the crew that we had, the women that we were friends with.
Absolutely.
Really.
We met the best people. We surrounded ourselves with the best people. It didn't
Right.
matter who else was a fucking asshole, because
Right.
we just had the
Right.
best crew of people to discover the world. And
Dizzy money.